So there's one last thing I want to show you. I feel that plane recognition, a plane recognition section would not be complete without this new AR plane geometry. So this is new in ARKit 1.5, and I want to show you very quickly how we can implement this. This is something that I think is going to be the way forward for plane recognition, and you will see how it works actually a lot better, and it gets you a um, more accurate shape of the planes around you. Okay, so I'm gonna do something crazy. I'm going to comment out everything. So all of this. So you'll see that now we only have our view did load, will appear, and will disappear. Okay, so all I need really is the did update. Did update, so the renderer did update node. Okay, so when you think about it, ARKit is creating and will add some nodes for you, whether you ask for them or not. Those anchors just exist. So they get updated pretty much straight away. Actually, they get updated really quickly, and we can't see the result of the first did add. So if we run just did update, that usually is enough. Then one thing that I want to show you is that, so if we get this plane anchor again, you will see that, so we know that the plane anchor has an alignment, a center, and new in ARKit 1.5, it's got a geometry as well. And that is where it gets really interesting. So if you have a look in there and read, you'll get a coarse triangle mesh. This basically means that it's going to create a mesh, and it's going to have a point in the center, and it will create triangles to create some sort of a spider web to then give you a shape of a plane. And the plane is not going to be just a rectangle or a square anymore, it's going to become a polygon. So in order to do this, let's just now create a constant. So let plane geometry equals this plane anchor dot geometry. And what we want to do now is to create a plane. So let plane equals an ARSCN plane geometry. And here you will see that we need to pass this, and this is a metal device that we haven't got here. We haven't created this, so let's just create this first. Let metal device equals mtl, yeah, create system default device. Okay, and this may not happen. It may or may not happen. I feel usually, I mean, it's always worked for me, but apparently, so yeah, apart from the fact that it's only available in iOS 11.3, so we can have an if available check for pretty much everything in here. Remove the else. Okay, so if iOS 11.3 is available, then we will do everything we're doing here. Okay, so first, plane geometry, then metal device, and then we create this plane from the metal device. And this will enable us to then pass this plane. So if I now do plane, dot what's going on here? So metal device, it doesn't like this. Yes, sorry, I forgot to then do the guard. So this is an optional, and we need to guard against issues here. So we'll just do an else, else return. Okay, so now we're pretty sure that this metal device exists, otherwise this line of code is not going to be executed. Right, so now we have this plane and we can get an update from the ARSCNPlanegeometry that we created here. So plane, no, it's from the plane geometry, I'm sorry. This one, plane geometry. It's quite new and still a bit confusing, this thing, but in the end it works. So finally, we can say that this node, like we did for the torus actually when we started, will have a geometry, and we're going to just pass the geometry that we created. So node.geometry equals the plane, which is the ARSCN geometry that we created here. Okay, so let's move these things where they should go. Actually, in order to do this, you can select everything and do a control, not command, but control I, and that's going to indent everything for you. Okay, so after a little bit of cleanup, this is all we need. And let's just run this now and see how this looks. Okay, so we've got our cloud that's floating, and now if I start to look around, you can see how we have this coarse mesh. Oh, and obviously the cloud is shadow casts against it. That's good. Okay, so if this wants to focus, yes, excellent. Oh, you can see how this mesh here casts shadows there, and it's not double-sided, so if I look up I can't see it. And it does not occlude anything, so once again, this is mad. This thing is getting the horizontal shapes from under as well as over. That's great. Anyway, that's not what we're looking at, but yeah, this is working. So if I look around, you can see how this is just like propagating like water or something like this. I'm sure there's quite a lot of things, really cool stuff that you can do with this. Don't know why yet, but you can obviously replace all the code that we've done before with this and apply your the occlusion, the transparency, etc., and make it look really good and magical in just a couple line of codes. I mean, look, we had all of this before, and now all we have is just that. All we need is those two lines here, I think. Actually, we'll have, yeah, so the node needs to have a rendering order. You know what, I'm going to let you do all of this. You can, I'm sure you can put all those pieces together now, but now that I've showed you how you can get this new ARSCN plane geometry, I feel there are no now limits to what you can do in ARKit. All right, so that concludes this section, and in the next section, I have no clue what we're doing anymore. I just have to check. All right, see you guys.